Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome to another Carolina Panthers talk video brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the Tube. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. So, I wanted to get on here and make a quick video talking about the Carolina Panthers' newest addition to the organization. They have added a new Vice President of Player Personnel to the Carolina Panthers organization. We're going to talk about him. We're going to talk about the most recent mock draft report from CarolinaPanthers.com website. And we're going to talk a little bit about the recently released Carson Wentz. Is that a quarterback Carolina should consider signing or taking a look at? So we're going to talk about those three main things. Before we get started, be sure to check out the link in the description for Game Beauty for an impressive lineup of video game themed makeup and cosmetic products. And if you see something that tickles your fancy and you want to make a purchase, be sure to use the promo code BlitzballChamp, all in caps, and you can get 10% off of your order. So be sure to use that promo code. Also, I do apologize in advance. My voice is, a little hoarse from all the cheering this past Saturday at the DPW wrestling event that I attended. So just bear with me. Anyway, first off, let's talk about the Carolina Panthers' newest signing, as they have agreed to terms with new Vice President of Player Personnel, Adrian Wilson. Adrian Wilson. According to the article, it says, Adrian Wilson comes to Carolina after spending 8 seasons with Arizona's scouting department, most recently serving as Vice President of Pro Personnel in 2021 and 2022. He was also the co-interim general manager at the end of the 2022 season. He had also previously served as the Cardinals' director of pro scouting. And remember, he was also a player in the NFL. He's a 5-time Pro Bowl safety, played 12 seasons with the Cardinals from 2001 to 2012. He ended up recording 987 tackles, 25.5 sacks, and 27 interceptions. He is one of 6 players in NFL history with at least 25 career sacks and 25 career interceptions. Quite a career there, especially 5-time Pro Bowl safety. He is also a member of the Arizona Sports Hall of Fame and the Arizona Cardinals Ring of Honor. And he actually has some ties to the Carolinas. He played at NC State, and he attended T.W. Andrews High School in High Point, North Carolina. So, he's got some ties to North Carolina, or to the Carolinas. But, he's being added on as the new Vice President of Player Personnel. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I expect that he will be quite involved with the player personnel, scouting, all those sort of things. And you know what? This comes at a really good time, being that the scouting combine, the combine's getting ready to start tomorrow as we speak. So I'd say this is a good signing just in time for the combine. So, hey, I like it. I definitely like it. And, somebody that's also had history as a player in the NFL as well. So, hey, can't never hate on that. But, yeah, welcome to the Carolina Panthers, Adrian Wilson, the new Vice President of Player Personnel. Sounds pretty cool. I can dig it. Can you dig it? Anyway, moving on. So, wanted to talk about the most recent article, Mock Draft 3.0. The mock draft report on Panthers.com. Pretty interesting, but let's go through it and just kind of go over what everybody was saying in this article. Excuse me. So first, starting off with Daniel Jeremiah, he is going offensive lineman Peter Skoronski with that first round draft pick, that number 9 pick. Daniel Jeremiah says, for this mock, I'm assuming the Panthers don't trade up to land a quarterback and instead go the veteran route at the position. Skoronski can slide inside to play guard in Carolina, teaming up with Ikami Kwanu to give the Panthers 2 building blocks for the offensive line. New head coach Frank Reich knows the impact of investing heavily in the line of scrimmage, having spent time on the Eagles staff before he left for Indianapolis. Interesting point. Chris Trapasso is going quarterback Will Levis via trading up with the Seahawks. He says, I can't get away from this trade. It's too perfect. The Seahawks slide back with Carter and Anderson off the board, and the Panthers don't have to trade an arm and a leg to get Levis. Interesting. That would be really, really interesting if he falls that low. Because, as a matter of fact, the Seahawks pick what? Number... Let me see, when did they pick? See, they pick number 5. So, I mean, that's actually a fair point. They would pick number 5. I mean, it is possible that Carolina could move up to the 5 spot and get a Will Levis. So, I mean, that's definitely possible. Okay, let's see. Trevor Sakima is going quarterback Anthony Richardson via trading up with Arizona. Trading with Arizona to get the number 3 pick. He says the Panthers could be just as aggressive as the Colts in moving up for a quarterback. The problem is, even if the Panthers are willing to give up more, asking the Bears to move from number 1 to number 9 could be a deal breaker. Instead, they can make sure they get one of the top quarterbacks by calling Arizona at number 3. Which, in all honesty, I feel like if the Panthers trade up, I think that's as far as they trade up to that number 3 spot where Arizona is. I think that's as far as they would trade up. If it comes to that. If it comes to that. So, I think that's a very, very possible. Okay, the athletics staff is also going quarterback Will Levis, but via a trade with Detroit, which Detroit has the number 6 pick in the first round. So it says, after the Raiders somewhat surprisingly traded up for Anthony Richardson, 3 of the top 4 quarterbacks were off the board. The good news for the Panthers, the one who was left is the guy they like. Rather than risk having another team jump ahead of them for Will Levis, the Panthers move up 3 spots by giving up just a 3rd round pick, which was part of the Christian McCaffrey trade. Of course, that, when he was traded to the Niners. Stroud and Young put up bigger numbers, and Richardson might have a higher ceiling. Wow. A lot of eyes and fingers pointing towards Will Levis to Carolina. And then we got one more. Damian Parson, who also says Carolina's going to go Will Levis via trade with Detroit. Damian Parson says the Panthers need a quarterback, and sitting patiently at the 9th spot is too risky for me. Will Levis provides them with a high-ceiling quarterback with all of the tools to be a truck and carry the weight of the franchise. Along with this phenomenal staff, Levis could develop into one of the better quarterbacks in the league. And there you have it. I mean, I mean, it's something to really think about. It's really something to think about. And I really feel like if Carolina really wants to get their quarterback in this draft, they're going to have to trade up. They're going to have to trade up. Their best bet is definitely to at least that third pick in the first round with Arizona. I think that's probably their best opportunity to get the quarterback they want, or at least, you know, because between the Bears and the Texans, I know definitely the Texans seem like they're going to get a quarterback. Whether it's Young, Stroud, Levis, Richardson, whoever. So that's probably their best bet if they really want to get the quarterback that they want. I feel like they're probably going to have to trade up. But the way I see it is, I mean, whether it's Will Levis or CJ Stroud or whoever, I could definitely see a quarterback going in the first round to the Carolina Panthers. So that's my take on this mock draft report. The only thing I can see with Daniel Jeremiah's Peter Skoronski pick is if, like he said, if they decide to go with a veteran bridge quarterback, which allows me to transition to my next topic, Carson Wentz, who just got released by the Washington Commanders as they have saved $26.176 million in the salary cap, releasing him after only one season. Now, here's the thing. Something that a lot of people are pointing out, and this is a good point. Carolina Panthers head coach is Frank Reich, who was one of the most recent coaches Carson Wentz had, and even had a full season under. Frank Reich, back with the Colts. And to be fair, Carson Wentz had a good season with the Colts, stat-wise. I mean, played in all 17 games. Had a completion percentage of 62.4. He was 322 of 516, 3,563 yards, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I mean, had a QBR of 60.6, a rating of 94.6. I mean, statistically, he had a great season. He had a great season. And I mean, let me see. How old is Carson Wentz? Actually, let me see how old he is. I mean, Carson Wentz can't be that old. Let me see how old he is. 30. Okay. 30. And I mean, hey, he's a North Carolinian, born in my hometown, Raleigh, North Carolina. So, you know, got a little bit of a bias. You know, he's born in my hometown. My thing about Carson Wentz. Now, at one point, when he was with the Eagles, he did get to a point where he was actually in the MVP discussion. And I mean, you look at a lot of his stats, even with the Eagles. I mean, 2017, 2018, 2019, he was pretty dang on consistent. I mean, 3 straight seasons of at least 21 touchdowns and only 7 interceptions. I mean, in 2017, 33 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 2018, 21 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. 2019, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. So, I mean, overall, he's done pretty decent in his career of limiting his turnovers. I mean, the highest number of picks he's thrown in a season was 15, and that was back in 2020. You know, he hasn't thrown, 10 or more interceptions since then. And then the only other time he's thrown 10 or more interceptions was his rookie year. So, I mean, here's the thing. Statistically, Carson Wentz has done pretty well. I mean, I know he didn't get a chance to play in the Super Bowl or, in the playoffs with the Eagles, especially the year that they did win the Super Bowl. I understand that. And he was in the MVP discussion until he got hurt. Now, on paper, struggled last season. But overall, I think Carson Wentz is a pretty solid quarterback. Overall. I think looking at his career, looking at, his yardage, his touchdowns, how well he's taking care of the football, I got to give him credit on that. I do. But here's the thing. Now, I know the next question is, should Carolina Panthers consider giving him a shot? I mean, he's worked with Frank Reich. He's done well with the Colts statistically under Frank Reich. But the main reason why I say no to Carson Wentz, his injury history. His injury history. Y'all, his injury history is big. While when he has played, does pretty well, he is very injury prone. Look at this injury history. 2016, chest rib fracture. 2017, knee ACL tear and a knee LCL tear. 2018, back vertebral fracture. 2020, concussion. 2021, pedal foot and pedal ankle high sprain. And in 2022, hand finger fracture, arm bicep strain. This dude has taken a beating. And that barrage of injuries, and he just, a couple of months ago turned 30. I don't know, y'all. I honestly, and the thing is, this ain't a small guy. This is not a small guy. Dude is 6'5", 237 pounds. But he's been banged up a lot. So, I gotta keep it real with y'all. I don't think I would take a chance. Yeah, I don't think I would take a chance. I really don't. If it wasn't for his injury history, I would consider it. That's the one thing. That's the one thing. If it wasn't for his injury history, I would actually consider the idea of a Carson Wentz. But injury history. And I really feel like, not to mention, I don't even think Wentz would even cost as much as Derek Carr. At least I don't think. I don't think he would cost as much as Derek Carr. Because my thing is, Derek Carr would be way too expensive. Let me see how much Carson Wentz, like what his... So, base salary about $22 million. About $22 million for his base salary. And then Derek Carr, and see, Derek Carr, shoot, he would have been about 40 million average salary for him. So I mean, as a matter of fact, yeah, Derek Carr would have been more expensive than Carson Wentz, but but I'm still sticking to the idea of we need to draft a quarterback and start from there. But if it came down to it, and if I had to make an exception, Wentz would probably, if it wasn't for his injury history, he might be an exception, but the injury history is just too much of a risk. Like I said, I give him credit. He made it through a whole season with the Colts. I give him that. But the injury history, it's I mean, I just read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 different injuries, y'all. So dude is not very durable. For his size, he's a big dude, but he's just not, doesn't seem to be durable. So that's my only thing. That's a big reason why I would not consider signing Carson Wentz. I kind of feel for him. Like, I really kind of feel for him because he just recently turned 30. So yeah, that's really all I can say about that. But if it was up to me, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. The injury history is too much. Not saying he's a bad quarterback, because I don't think he is a bad quarterback. I don't. Career statistically, I don't think he's a bad quarterback. But injury history, too much of a risk. Too much of a risk. But that's pretty much all that I have for this video. Like I said, seems like a big signing, bringing in Adrian Wilson as Vice President of Player Personnel. I have to see what happens with Carson Wentz, and another mock draft report on Panthers.com. I mean, hearing Will Levis quite a lot, but we'll see. Like I said, I don't have a preference as far as quarterbacks in the draft, so I'm gonna keep an open mind. But we'll see what happens. The combine's getting ready to start, so should be interesting. But that'll be all for this video. Don't forget to check out the link to Game Beauty, and I'll have the other links on what was discussed in the description as well. But don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell while you're at it. And thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. For another Carolina Panthers talk brought to you by Blitzball Champ Gaming here on the U to the 2. I'm your host, Blitzball Champ Jason Ingram. Hope everybody has a blessed day tomorrow, and I will see y'all in the next video. Take care. Peace.